What's up, guys? I'm Sarah Weaver. Today is not True Crime Tuesday. It is the weekly Wildcard video, okay? So this week we're going to change it up. We are going to be talking about some Christmas movies and the conspiracy theories behind them. And I love Christmas, and I just couldn't bring myself to do a true crime story when it's such a happy time of year, okay? Despite 2020 being like a shit show, we just have to like move past that, and we have to talk about like something interesting, something fun, something to just take our minds off of it for a little while and not be depressed over a true crime story, right? So that's what we're doing today, and if you guys want to come back and watch more of these videos, please subscribe below. That way you'll get notified when I come out with a new video every week. Also, give this video a thumbs up, and without further ado, let's just get into the video. Oh, wait, hold on. I just have to show you guys the sweatshirt I'm wearing because it just feels so cool. And obviously Snoop Dogg, okay? I don't know if you can read what it says, but it says, "'Twas the nizzle before Chris Mizzle and all through the hizzle," okay? So now that you know how cool I am, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so the first story we're going to start out talking about is Frosty the Snowman, okay? Now, this story is just a Christmas classic to me. I used to love this as a kid, you know, not so much as an adult, but I'm not a hater, okay? Like, I don't discriminate with my Christmas movies, alright? We love everything over here. Alright, so Frosty the Snowman, right? You're probably thinking, like, how on earth could there be a conspiracy about this, right? So it turns out the theory behind Frosty the Snowman is that he is actually a demon, okay, that was created by the naughty children, okay? So, you know, Christmas, Santa has his list, he has his naughty list, his nice list. These kids that created Frosty were on the naughty list, okay? And this is how we know this, okay? So the theory goes, you know the song Frosty the Snowman, right? They say he has a corncob pipe and a button nose and two eyes made out of coal. They're like, where did these kids get this coal from, right? So, because they couldn't have got it from anywhere else but their stocking. So, you know, kids get coal in their stocking on Christmas if they are naughty, right? So that is where the coal came from that they used for Frosty's eyes. I know. So, bear with me here, okay? So, the rest of the theory goes on to say that when there's a scene where the kids are all dancing around Frosty after they build him and they're singing songs and whatever, and all of a sudden Frosty comes to life, right? And the reason he comes to life is because of the top hat that ends up on Frosty's head, right? So they think that there is some type of magic in the hat that was put there by the kids, like maybe a charm or a spell was placed on the hat, and the hat was put on to Frosty, okay? Also, it talks about the way the kids got the coal was from their stocking, right? So they think also part of the song where it says, "The sun was hot that day," is an indicator that it is already past Christmas time and it's going into spring. Because why else would, you know, the sun just be hot one day? Or, I mean, It's the sun, right? I don't know. But, I mean, like, you can have warmer winter days, right? Like, that doesn't mean that it's before or after Christmas because of the weather. So, to me, that's one hole that you can just punch right through this theory because it honestly doesn't make any sense. But they're theorizing, you know, Christmas already happened. These kids got their coal in their stocking. They're like, you know, angry because they're bad kids and they are going to use their powers to make an evil snowman, I guess. I don't know. Now, going back to the top hat, they think because this top hat in the movie, it comes from a magician, right? There's this evil magician that lost his hat and he's after the hat, and Frosty and the kids keep running away with it the whole movie, right? And the magician is following them. But there's a scene where you see the magician with the hat, and the hat doesn't work for the magician. He can't get the magic to work in the hat. But for some reason, it works when it's on Frosty, and it works because the kids have put that spell on it or that charm. So that is what's going on there. And I know I kind of like jumped around there. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, that is pretty much the basis of this theory. So yeah, basically that's the entirety of this theory. It doesn't have a lot of weight to it, obviously. In my opinion, like, I don't see Frosty being a evil snowman at all. Like, I just think that he's just a jolly old snowman, you know? Singing songs, holding hands with kids. What more could you want? Okay. Oh, also, I did leave one thing out, but there's part of the theory says that there's a scene where they're crossing the street, right? Frosty and the kids, and there's a policeman there, like, to guide them across the street, and he tells Frosty to stop, and Frosty basically disobeys him and says to only stop for a minute or something like that, and then he keeps going. So they think because Frosty disobeyed authority and encouraged the kids to also disobey authority, that he is probably evil, right? So that's that logic. Okay, so let's move on from this theory and let's go on to the next one, which is probably, I think Elf's my favorite. Okay, Elf is my favorite theory, but let's talk about Home Alone, okay? Because everybody loves Home Alone. I mean, who doesn't? Do you not like Home Alone? Oh my god. Wow. So, Home Alone, the theory is that Kevin McAllister actually grows up to be Jigsaw from the Saw movies. So, the reason that people think Kevin is Jigsaw is because he is very mischievous and he likes to set booby traps, he likes to inflict pain on people, and he seems to get joy from it. I know, like, these are a little bit of a stretch, but just, like, think about it. Like, if you're really trying to come up with a theory and, like, really believe this, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where people get these ideas, for real. Like, this one is so goofy to me. So, Kevin, little innocent Kevin McAllister, you're telling me that he is actually gonna grow up to be like a serial killer with like a sick fantasy for torturing people and stuff? I mean, I don't know about that. Also, they talk about how, you know, Kevin has a couple scenes where he's like videotaping people with a camcorder, and I guess, you know, in the movie Saw, Jigsaw also likes to have cameras on them and be watching them while he's torturing them and things like that. And I don't know. I mean, it's such a stretch, but that's part of the theory. So the other theory with Home Alone is that Kevin's dad, Peter, is actually a mob boss. So this theory starts the night before the McAllisters are supposed to leave on their trip, right? I guess the theory is that when Harry comes to the house, he's dressed as a cop and he's asking Peter some questions. And they say, you know, Peter seems a little bit nervous during this questioning. So maybe that means that he's trying to hide something, or he has some other reason that he thinks the cops could be there. So another part of this theory is that Peter has never said what he does for a living, so we don't really know what career field he's in. We just know that they have a lot of money and, you know, they're very well off. And in the book version of Home Alone, I guess it just describes Peter as being a businessman or in business or something like that. So it never actually says in there either. It's just very vague about what he does. So we really don't know. Also in the movie, it's kind of weird the way that the Wet Bandits target the McAllisters' house. And they say they're going to make a big score there. So it's kind of weird, like we don't really know why they picked the McAllisters' house out of all the other houses on the street when all those houses seem to look pretty similar to the McAllisters. You know, they live in a nice neighborhood, it looks like. So the theory says, well, the reason they picked it is because they know that the mob boss lives there, right? And he's probably hiding his stash in the walls or something. True fans will get that, okay? True fans from like a couple videos ago, okay? But anyways, so that's why they think that Mr. McAllister is a mob boss. So the final Home Alone theory, there are a couple more, but this is one that, you know, I just wanted to talk about because I don't feel like the other ones really have much substance behind them. So this one was a little interesting to me. They say that they think Harry and Marv are actually Christmas spirits. So there's an incident in the movie where Kevin gets mad because somebody eats his cheese pizza, right? So he like throws a fit basically, and he storms up to his room, or he gets sent to his room, and he's like pouting on his bed, okay? And he's like, I wish my family would disappear and all this stuff. So then he goes to bed, right? And then the next morning, they are gone. His family's gone. Little does he know they left on a trip, but he really thinks like, oh no, I made my family disappear. But now, you know, he kind of has to pay the price for doing that. So the theory is that not too long after he realizes his family's gone, Marv and Harry show up, okay? And they're kind of like his little Christmas spirits there to like teach him a lesson basically for wishing his family away. So after Harry and Marv show up, they go through all this stuff, and you know, Kevin's scared and he's trying to like fight them off throughout the whole movie and set up these traps for them to fall into. And basically, through all of this struggle that Kevin goes through, he ends up realizing that he does love his family and he really does need them and miss them and all this stuff. So it comes like all full circle. So that's why they think that these guys are their spirit, Christmas spirit, or whatever you want to call it. Also, in Home Alone 2, there is a part, so he's in New York, right? And this time he just happens to lose his family again. And of course, Harry and Marv are there in New York with him, right? So he runs into them again. And this time, Harry and Marv are there to teach him a different lesson, right? So this time, Kevin has experiences with different people, like kids who are less fortunate than him, less privileged, don't have all the things that he does. And he also meets that lady in the park who is like the pigeon lady, and she's homeless, she's down on her luck. Everything that Kevin ends up experiencing in this movie makes him just grateful for his life and his family and just everything that they have. And so that's why Marv and Harry are in his life in that movie. So those are all the Home Alone theories. Now we're going to get into the elf theories, okay? So the first theory is a little bit far-fetched, but I'm just going to tell you guys anyways because that's the point of this video, okay? Just telling you these theories. Stop getting so mad at me. So this theory says that Buddy the Elf, who is played by Will Ferrell, if you haven't seen it, you should see it because it's amazing. Definitely like top 3 Christmas movies for sure. So Buddy the Elf is actually a weird pervert who is just putting on an act basically and pretending that he doesn't know like right from wrong, and he's just acting like a kid because he wants to get away with being a pervert and being just like this aloof, like oblivious person so that nobody can get mad at him for doing his little perverted things. So the first evidence that we see of this is the scene where I can't do my eyeliner and talk at the same time. Hold on. Okay, so as I was saying, the thing that supports this theory is the scene where Zooey Deschanel, who plays Jovi, is in the shower in the locker room at work, and she is singing, and then Will Ferrell's character, Buddy, he goes into the locker room because he hears her singing, and he sits there on the sink and listens to her sing, sings along with her, all of that. And then she catches him in there and she's freaked out, like, what are you doing in the bathroom, you freak? Like, what are you doing? So Will is like, his first reaction, or I should say Buddy. So Buddy's first reaction is to scream and run away. And then later she confronts him. She's like, what were you doing in there? And he says he didn't know that she would be naked. Okay? So we're just thinking, oh, you're so funny, Buddy. Like, you don't know how showers work, right? So actually, it turns out that Buddy does know how a shower works, okay? And not only does Buddy know how showers work, okay, he has actually taken a freaking shower before. So if you think back to the beginning of the movie, there's a scene where he's still back at the North Pole and he is doing like things that elves do, but he's doing them as a human, regular size human. And one of them is when he's in the shower, okay? And you can see he has his shirt off and he's like splashing water up on his shoulders and everything. So we're assuming that he's naked in that scene, right? So it would not make sense for him to say that he didn't know that Jovi was naked in that shower, meaning that Buddy is kind of a little pervert, Sorry to say it. Like, that almost plays out to me, okay? It does. A little bit. Okay. So the next piece of evidence that supports this theory that, Buddy's just this crazy pervert guy is that he shows that he has like a little violent streak to him. There is a scene where he is walking home with his brother, I believe his name is Max, and they run into these guys who are trying to start a snowball fight with them, right? So Buddy is like, no worries, I got this. And he just makes like 1,000 snowballs and he starts pummeling these kids with the snowballs, right? So the theory is that he's like getting joy from hurting children, basically. And I don't know, like that's such a stretch to me, but you know, let's count how many times I say that's such a stretch. But plenty of adults, not me, you know, just adults in general, okay, just not me, get pleasure from, you know, having a snowball fight with kids. I mean, what the heck? You can't just like let these kids get away with, you know, killing you with snowballs, okay? Like, who expects somebody to just be an innocent bystander and just walk through the park and get pummeled with snowballs? No, sir. Okay? Hello, I'm gonna fight back. Hello. Also, if my niece or nephew are watching this, I'm coming at you guys with the snowballs this year, okay? So, I won't back down. I won't back down, okay? You should be scared. But really. Anyways, the last part of this theory is the scene in the mailroom where Buddy makes a new friend, basically. That guy who is like a little bit drunk and like, you know, telling Buddy his whole life story and all that. He takes out a little bottle of, I don't know, whiskey or something like that. And Buddy's like, ooh, is that maple syrup? Like, can I have some? And he takes it out of the guy's hand and he drinks it. And the theory is that Buddy actually knows that that's alcohol. He knows it's not maple syrup and syrup, what the heck? And he just drinks it anyways because he wants to get drunk, you know? He wants to get a little lit and have a party, okay? And what the heck? Like, let Buddy live his life, you know? What if he did know that it was alcohol? Like, so what? He's a grown man, okay? There's nothing wrong with drinking. It's not like he worked there, you know? He was just there visiting. So, let the man live, okay? Justice for Buddy. Justice for Buddy. Okay, so this is the theory that I find the most intriguing because I love the movie Step Brothers, right? And this theory is that the movie Elf is actually a prequel to the movie Step Brothers, okay? So hear me out. What if Buddy's stepmom, so the same lady that plays his stepmom in Elf actually plays his mom in Step Brothers, right? The same actress. And Buddy, Will Ferrell, plays Buddy in Elf, and he plays Brennan in Step Brothers, okay? So what if Buddy's stepmom divorces Walter in Elf, and she gets custody of Brennan, or Buddy. She gets custody of Buddy, and then changes his name to Brennan. They move away, and they start a new life somewhere, right? I think they live in California in Step Brothers. So what if they just leave New York, they move to California, and they start a new life there, okay? His mom gets remarried, and that's the whole concept of Step Brothers, right? But in the movie Step Brothers, Brennan has a brother named Derek, right? Now, a lot of people say that Derek could be Max just grown up. Maybe they changed Max's name too. I don't know. They must have all entered some type of witness protection program or something. I mean, how can you all change your names? Maybe this theory isn't as good as I thought it was, but I don't know. It sounded good. Like, I don't know. So, the other reasons that this could be true are because Brennan loves to sing, right? And Buddy loves to sing, right? So that's something that both characters have in common. Brennan gets fired from PetSmart, so he's obviously an animal lover, right? And then in Elf, you see Buddy like talks to the narwhal and the puffin and all those animals. Like, he obviously is an animal lover as well, right? So that's another thing that they have in common. And finally, just their whole character in general. They both seem to just have like this childlike demeanor about them, and they never want to grow up. They kind of want to stay as, you know, this little ignorant child. You even see like Brennan, you know, has to get a job, and that whole interview scene is hilarious. And, you know, just if you watch the movies, you can see like there definitely are similarities between Buddy and Brennan. Alright guys, so that is it for this week's weekly wildcard video. I hope you liked it. I liked talking about this stuff. It's kind of fun, and I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas. If you guys also want to know what I used in this video on my face, I'll leave it all in the description box below, so you can check that out too. Spend those Ulta gift cards. You know, that's where I got, I think, most of the stuff. They're in Target, and a lot of stuff I use is drugstore, so you should be able to find a lot of it there for a pretty affordable price. I'm not one to spend a lot on makeup. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great Christmas, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope it is amazing, and I hope you guys get to experience it with your friends and family, despite everything that's going on this year. You know, I just really hope that you guys have a good holiday season. So with that being said, I'm Sarah, and I will see you next week with another video. Please subscribe below, and please give me a like, comment what your favorite holiday movie is too, because I'm curious to see if you guys are on the same page as me. Alright, that's all I have to say. Goodbye.